I'm Morty Sill. I'm going to be talking about the psychological aspects of trading, which I think is almost as important as learning the system. And these are really bits and pieces I've picked out of some of the material I'm going to be using on my show that I'm doing in the Wednesday evenings. So as I said, just to summarize, what I try and do with my company is have financial, educational, multimedia products through the web, and that's just exploded in the last 18 months or so, and the technology and the bandwidths that are available make it very feasible to put almost film-like quality material on the website. And so what I try and do is just simply rearrange your personal worldview to get some clarity. You know, these are the sort of light bulb moments. Just need to change slightly how you look at something, and suddenly it all opens up, and you see clear fields ahead. Now, there's only really one thing you need to know about Forex. There's only one truth, universal truth, and that is choose an entry level that goes to your limit before it goes to your stop. Okay, I've finished. That's it. That's the message. Thanks. It is no more complicated than that. That's all there is to trading, is that you pick an entry level, okay, that will take you to your limit before it takes you to your stop, and that's all there is. There is nothing else to trading. Okay, now, one of the problems of learning to get that entry level, of course, is that it's the market is a complex place. It's millions and millions of random variables, and largely it is disorganized. And that's when we get sort of scrambled charts and messy grids. And every now and then, because it's a complex adaptive system, it self-organizes, and that's when we get trending. And what we hope to recognize with the grids is self-organization. Those of us who were sort of in here with Forex Money Map, well, it wasn't called that, with dynamic Fibonacci trading early on, know what it was like before the grid was automated. And you guys, if you don't know what it was like, this is just a huge quantum leap forward. We used to write these out on bits of paper from charts, which meant you got a snapshot, but of course we didn't have correlating pairs because we weren't going to write them out for every single grid and then compare them. I mean, this is just an amazing amount of opportunity has arisen from automation of the grid. And what it's allowed us to do is to see when the market self-organizes. And you'll be familiar with vanilla, reverse vanilla, 60 to 60, bounce trades, blue to white. These are all evidence of the market about to self-organize. And the margined intraday trader life expectancy is appalling. The average funding is about 5K in an account, and the average life expectancy is about 3 months. 90% of them blow up in 3 months. So I'm going to explore how you stop yourself from being in that 90%. So what can you do about it? Well, you've answered that question, haven't you? What you do is you find a system that gives you an edge, and then you focus heavily on your training so that you can use that system. So you get a trading system that gives you an edge, and then you become extraordinarily disciplined. And that is the key. If there's only one take-home message, you are not going to succeed at this unless you become disciplined, and you're extraordinarily disciplined. Probably more disciplined than you've ever been in anything else, any other endeavor that you've undertaken. There are two types, the behavioral discipline and then number discipline. Behavioral discipline is the one that's most difficult because lots of things mess with your head and alter your behavior, and your behavior will define you as a successful or an unsuccessful trader. And then number discipline largely can be learned. So number discipline is easier, behavioral discipline is much more difficult. And some of the manifestations of behavioral indiscipline are snatching profits and running losses, very common new trader behavior. And cold finger. Do you have many cold finger? Inability to act, can't press the button. And also, most of us won't admit to this, but we are brought up that gambling is something naughty people do. It's a criminal act, it's something you sneak off to Las Vegas to do. We are taught by our parents that gambling is a bad thing to do. Well, this is gambling, but I'll explain why it's not a bad thing to do. Foreign currency speculation is gambling. You have to get over it and move on. But we are the casino, not the punter. The casino is a business. The casino can go to the market and say, will you invest in my next casino? And they'll say, yes, we will. Why would they do that if it's all purely chance or speculation? Because they have an edge. So what we're aiming to be, we're aiming to be the casino, not the punter. That makes a huge difference to your mental outlook when you're trading. And all you have to do is transact, and the edge will give you your profit. Now, to do this, you've got to become indifferent to wins and losses. And I know lots of you in the room will not be indifferent to wins and losses. You might get excited about wins, you might think, thank God for that win, but you certainly will suffer when you lose, and you've got to get over that because you will not move on whilst you continue to suffer losses. Because losses are inevitable. You cannot do this without losing. So I'd like to give some examples of what that feels like. I'm going to try and get you to feel what it feels like to be a professional trader and be indifferent to wins and losses, because you know you have an edge and all you need to do is transact, and with time you're going to win. I'm a big rugby fan, and the analogy with sport is tennis, whatever you want to choose, let's choose rugby, is that you are working and you can't watch the match live, so you tape it. However, on the way home, absent-mindedly you put on the radio and some idiot on the radio tells you what the score is. Okay? So you go home, because you're a rugby fan, you watch all the action, but you can't get excited about the tries, and you're indifferent to the tries on your side, you're indifferent to the tries on the other side, because you know the final outcome. So you're indifferent to it. You can still watch it, you can still take part, but you're not getting anywhere near excited because you know the outcome. This is the indifference that you need to reach. This is what it feels like trading in the zone. And what we're dealing here is with a numbers game. So again, I'm trying to get you into a mental picture where you are indifferent about each individual event, which is random. We don't know what's going to happen next, because what we're dealing with is a probability curve. So when you go long cable on a vanilla setup, for example, you don't know whether you're going to win or lose. What you do know is that if you do it enough times, 8 out of 10 times, you will make a profit. So it's no point getting excited about what the next thing is going to be, because you can't predict that. It's completely randomly distributed. It doesn't make any sense whatsoever to get excited about the outcome of the next one. What you need to do is you need to keep transacting. This goes back to the casino. Okay, number discipline, this is easier to learn, but there are some hidden things in here, which is why my talk's called Snatching Defeat from the Jaws of Victory, because you may think you're doing well, and then you get to the end of the month, the end of the quarter, end of the year, and you find that your actually P&L is fairly mediocre. So I want to explore some of the traps that are hidden within the numbers. We take two strategies. Strategy one, looking for a 20-point profit with a 30-point loss, which is sort of about vanilla. Strategy two, where you look for a 15-point win and you have a 10-point stop loss. I'm just using these as examples, and they may be some of the RVs. I think Wolverine sometimes has 10-point stop, a very tight stop. And if you look at the win-to-loss, and we have win-to-loss ratios about 8 to 2, say about 7 to 3, again using Cash's stats, then the net trade actually is quite small. It's 10 for this strategy, and the net pips per trade on that is 8. Now, if you actually have a look at the figures, it's more like 6. So the amount of pips you actually get with these strategies per trade is 6. That is a very small margin for error, very small margin for error. And it's one of the reasons why you get, say, short at 50. I'll give you an example of this. Short at 50, and you press the button and you get filled at 43. Well, you're 7 points down in a window that's only 6 points across. You can see if you don't get good pricing, you can become, you have mediocre P&L at best. And although you're getting the trades right, if you don't get good pricing, you can still lose. So pricing is absolutely critical. And the phrase we all use is this: do not chase a trade. If you can't get in at the level dictated by the grid, then leave it until the next one comes along. If you chase the trade, this is why it's so easy to lose, because your window is very narrow if you scalp intraday.